Bisexuals got a bad rap
They really do.
because people saw it as a temporary identity.
Yeah. The stepping stone thing is real too. Like, and people being dismissive of that, where it's just like, I think
Hmm.
we gotta let go of that hurt, y'all. Like it's
We really do.
bisexual people out there. It's nothing to get you. It's I
Very
swear
real.
it's not you.
This is Shana,
And Kris.
and we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have squish. Squish, which is an innocent, non-romantic infatuation with someone. My sentence, and this is from the Archer app, which I had no idea was a thing.
What
Um,
is it?
it's like a gay man's dating app. It's
Oh,
like for
it's in
gay
the
men,
bubble.
by gay men. I was like, FUBU ish. My sentence is my coworker always has my back, and I totally have a squish on them now. Hmm.
That's adorable.
Yeah, yeah, squish,
Oh, I have
cute.
so many friends who I'm in squish with.
You were squishing hard, huh? Squish is fun. Yeah, it's fun to have like a non-romantic crush on somebody where you're like,
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
great.
It's the
Hmm.
best. Like you just love them as a person, and you're just like, ah,
Yeah. Especially like
I'm so
people you don't
lovely.
know. I saw somebody on the internet, the internet is
Yeah.
crazy, but someone was like they found it weird when people said like congratulations or was happy for people like they didn't know. And I was like, that's literally my favorite thing is to see some good news and say congratulations, whether I know them or not. Usually I'm following them, but even if it's somebody I don't know, like, yeah, just like good news. It's kind of fun to
Right.
say congratulations, but people are miserable. So I would imagine that might anger some people. How dare you be happy for someone you don't know?
Right.
So
Those are the people that like in public when somebody starts clapping about something and they're just like, I'm not clapping.
yeah, it's like, okay, well
It's
then
like,
don't.
why
But
don't you just clap?
you
I
don't
love
have
it.
to, but I don't know why it's making you uncomfortable. So
I just love
I don't
joy.
know. Yeah. But at this point now on the internet, the bots are trying to convince us to be lonely and isolated too. So they're like, it's probably just a bot response. It's like, I hate when people congratulate, other people. Hey, humans, huh? So I peep
Squish.
game. Squish.
All right.
What you got?
My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week is carabiner code. Carabiner code. So that was a system where a carabiner is worn as a signal to other lesbians that's similar to the hanky code. So, you wear a hanky on one side or the other side based on your sexual preferences. Our version is the carabiner. So while its meaning has evolved historically, the side it's clipped to indicates your sexual preference. So left is for a top, right is for a bottom, and the middle, they said possibly signaling a switch.
Mm,
My sentence. So today, the carabiner is also a mainstream fashion accessory, and some wear it purely for aesthetic or practical reasons, with the side placement often being a matter of habit rather than code, but historically, it was for code.
very interesting with the left, right, and middle.
I feel like the middle would have
Interesting.
been an awkward placement for the people. So if you were going to be a switch, I feel like you really had to dedicate to the
The
middle
side
piece.
it's clipped to. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, which is so funny because whenever I
Wow.
do wear a carabiner, I wear it on the right side. And it's
Oh,
not
do you?
inaccurate. It's not inaccurate.
You're like, it's not wrong.
Like it's
But you're
not
like,
wrong, but I'm very much a
yeah, in the
switch. So
middle.
it's
That's
like
so you're like, I bottom supremacy, but am a
right.
switch. So yeah. Shout out to bottoms. Make the world
Yeah,
go around. Well, versus make the world go around, but bottoms
exactly.
are our bedrock, our foundation, if you will.
Mm.
So mm. So we've had a couple weeks off from a live episode. So we
Yes.
have a couple stories. Some of these are a couple weeks old, but we'll get to it.
We're gonna get
It's a
into it.
mixed bag of good and bad news and
Yes. So
frivolous news.
yeah.
So
Frivolous.
right in the
So
middle, just frivolous.
we're gonna go ahead and praise, pray tell. Our first couple stories. Well, our first story sad, and then
Yeah.
we'll move up on that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a range of emotions this
It,
category
it
is, but
really
first,
is.
yeah,
Range. The
range.
range. The
That's what we're
range.
doing.
The
That's what we're doing.
range.
So our first category is R.I.P. Rest in power, rest in peace to Girlalala.
Yeah. I wasn't aware of Girl La La La, who was a 21-year-old transgender content creator, TikTok creator. I think TikTok was her biggest audience, but nearly 300,000 followers. She was shot and killed in Lauderdale Lakes, Florida last month in November. So this is a couple weeks old, but we definitely wanted to report on this story and just talk about it. According to the Broward County Sheriff's Office, she and her boyfriend of 3 years got into an argument inside his car that became physical. During that altercation, her boyfriend allegedly pulled out a gun on her and shot her. He was the one to call 911 afterwards, but she was pronounced dead at the hospital. There was a video released from somebody's Tesla that caught him moving her body and basically, lying on the 911 call. And so that's one of the things where it's like glad that there's cameras and everywhere to capture these things, but he has been arrested at the scene. He has been charged with first-degree murder, and the firearm was recovered. According to the latest data from translivesmatter.info and Trans Violence News, there have been over 350 known deaths of trans, non-binary, and gender diverse people since 2024's Trans Day of Remembrance. That did just pass November 20th.
Mm.
So this is so we always, try to report on these stories as we can, but this is one we wanted to come back to and talk about. There was some other stuff. I don't know if you saw the stuff with her father who was trying to insert himself in this, and it was just
I
made it
saw a little bit, yeah.
just, yeah, he's not honoring her wishes of basically letting her be buried as she lived. He said he didn't want his child to be buried in a wig. I believe the compromise they had with it was she was able to have like a wake or something as and be presented as she lived, whereas the actual funeral didn't go that way, which is truly unfortunate. And I just hated seeing her father online and just like decentering her in this and this just this horrific crime. And then there was the big debate about that with like parents' wishes and everything that is just like unnecessary. But rest in peace, rest in power to Girlalala, and her followers, her fans, people who were in her life, her friends and family, sending prayers to them. And I hope her boyfriend is in jail for the rest of his life for what he did. It's just sad. It's just sad all around.
Hmm.
And I know that there were some videos that people were surfacing of like the domestic violence and abuse that she faced with this boyfriend throughout the years, and just want to remind everybody, especially in our community, to make sure that they are reporting intimate partner violence and not standing for that, and trying everything to keep yourself safe. It does happen in our community in high numbers, so we can't just ignore that this doesn't happen. And in a lot of cases, this leads to these deaths and murders. So yeah, sending love to everybody. This was heavy to see a couple weeks back. I wanted to make sure we did talk about this and acknowledge this news. And yeah, just prayers for everybody involved except for the boyfriend. No more
Yep.
prayers there. But
And dad too.
and dad, yeah, fuck out of here. It was just ugh. I was like, God. So the next category is the frivolous. I did want to bring this up because I had a good chuckle over the Thanksgiving break, and I know many other folks did as well. This category is Porsha Williams introduces new romance with girlfriend Patrice Sway McKinney.
Ah, the stud name.
The stud. What a stud name.
Sway,
Sway.
stud
I
name.
mean, Sway,
Sway is a
Sway
popular
is
stud name.
it is. It's a good one. Let me just start off by saying that Sway is gorgeous and handsome. I get
Very
it.
much
You
so.
know,
It
overstand Portia. I
Yeah.
overstand.
They
Okay.
posted a couple of videos of them at the club, and I was just like,
Uh-huh.
look at these adorable ass dance moves and all. I was like, I get
Yeah.
it.
I get it.
I get
I
it.
get it. I
I
get
get
it.
it.
Well, former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Porsha Williams hard launched her new relationship with Sway on Instagram on Friday, November 28th. This relationship is the first that she's made since she divorced her ex-husband Simon. I don't know how to say his last name, but that was a messy divorce, messy start. He was married to somebody else that was on the show. She came in, took that girl's husband, they got married, and then
What?
it was just, yes, that's why it's like crazy. It's very nuts. Porsha is
Wow.
very
Cause see,
nuts, but
I'm not in the
in
Real
the
Housewife
in the world
realm.
of
So
it,
it's like when y'all
yeah,
talk about it
yeah.
though, their stories are
It's
out
so
of
crazy.
control. Like it
This
almost
one was
gets me.
so
It almost gets me
crazy.
to watch it. It does.
You should. You actually should because it is, I mean, especially those, I mean, now the OGs and some of the better, folks aren't on there. Like Nini's not on the show, Candy's not on the show anymore, Portia's not currently. And they're, they should always have a combination of either all three of them or at least two of them. So this happened while she was on the show. She's not on there now, but yeah, she definitely took some girl's husband. Like dead ass. There's an episode like she goes over the girl's house, they are at the pool. He comes out and like gives them like, champagne or something. And a couple months later, he had
Wow.
divorced his wife who was on the show and she was just like kind of she didn't have a peach. She was like a little side character that they had added to the
Hmm.
season. Um yeah, they had announced they were broken out, and then Portia and him stepped out, and people were like, "What the actual hell?" Like, this was a girl you hung with, smiled in her face, came to her home, and now with her husband. But Simon also has some things going on. He's a Nigerian citizen. I think he did get deported. He got deported. He has some shit going on. So it's not clear if like Portia. I know it's so crazy. It's a crazy world. I know always a guilty pleasure. The Atlanta Housewives, but anyways, they had a very nasty divorce.
Wow.
He is in Nigeria right now because he did get deported. It was also found out that he did a lot of like kind of scammy stuff. So like Portia was trying to say she didn't know who she married. And it was like, well, you did marry somebody else's husband. You probably should have done the homework. You get what you
Right.
deserve. So the timing of this is the peculiar thing or the eyebrow raise because I, like many others, have known that Portia is certainly community and queer. Literally on my bingo card every year is that Portia's going to come out, step out with a stud. She lives in Atlanta. Early episode, you just can tell. Some people you could just tell. Like I also think that about Candy Burris as well. But Portia was not shocking. I think the eyebrow raise with all this is that she's doing this after a very messy, very, very messy divorce, and it looks like a rebrand.
Mm.
But, God bless Sway. Sway is fine. Maybe they've been friends for a while, and maybe, sometimes the journey happens that way for folks who come out later in life or come out as bi. They divorce and they're like, okay, like I'm done with that. Because that was she was married twice, but yeah, she was married twice. I was gonna say she was married three times, but she was married twice and divorced twice now. So maybe she is done. Who knows? Everybody's path is different. You got to save space for that, but very interesting to for that to have happened after this very, very messy divorce. So they hard launched that. And she also revealed in October that she was talking to two people, a man and a woman. So who knows where this will go? But
Hmm.
a part of me is like, yeah, fake for promo, you know me. But Sway is also fine. So, you know, maybe that
Wow.
is real. It could be real. It's fine. So we will
I
see. That is the newest little
am
black queer couple
flabbergasted.
out there. Portia could have seen, people what was happening
Flabbergasted.
over there with Niecy Nash and all that and was like, you know what? It's time,
Let me dip my toe
So
in.
let me
Let's
dip my toe
dip
in.
it in there.
So, we'll see. We'll see. I will say that I trust that Sway has knows her way around straight women or newly out women and knows how to play this. And Atlanta
Mm.
is a very interesting place. So I think Sway is fine with the arrangement clearly, and Portia is. So we'll see what happens. So best of luck to them. Love wins. Love wins. That's my frivolous reporting. That's my housewife
Wait,
corner.
wait. I
Love
need to
wins.
know what signs you saw though
What signs?
to say
Portia.
that you knew that she was gonna turn to the studs. What did you see? What did you feel in your heart?
I thought the men that she dated were interesting. Her first husband was Cordell Stewart, who is a legendary Steelers quarterback who himself fought gay rumors back in the 90s. I don't know if Cordell was. She's of that really religious, like Bible bumping girl that's like you could tell is lit. Definitely the preacher's kid kind of vibes
Hmm.
where whenever she was around anybody gay, like it just, I don't know, it seemed like it was like, oh, okay. Like this seems natural for you. She also, her and Candy had a weird exchange where they weren't both accusing each other of some gay shit, but like Candy, she accused Candy of trying to like eat her out or some shit like that. And that it was a really weird like not episode, but just like time with those two because then they became friends again. But those two in particular too, and that's why I say Candy Burris is community as well. Like there's just things I don't know if I could explain it where it makes sense. It certainly doesn't sound like it's making sense right now, but just something you just know. You know,
Mm.
there's certain women you just know. So like for instance, like if Nene came out, I would be very shocked. If Cynthia Bailey came out, I'd be very shocked.
Hmm.
No, Portia, no. I was like, Portia, some women I feel like could be taken by the right stud or person. But like Portia was one of those where it's just like, I don't know. I've been around those kind of girls that are like very interested once you say anything gay or once they know somebody's gay, their gravitation towards you or gravitation towards a topic is very like, oh, I don't know. I can't explain it. But Portia, a lot of people aren't shocked. Let's just put it that way. We just know, you know, you live long enough, you know. You just know. And Portia was one of the ones where it's like, we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. So again, love wins. So wishing them the best.
Look at that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, our final category is our sports updates. We're focusing on the WNBA, CBA, and the SCORE Act, and also should give like a little shout out to the NWSL. So if you're one of the folks who love listening to us but don't like listening to sports, you are free to fast forward from here. I love the people who comment and say like, just gotta skip the sports section, and I'm like, I appreciate that you still stick around and hang out with us. So quick update with the NWSL. The finals happened. It was a glorious
Hmm.
time. And Gotham FC won their game. Roosevelt
They
scored
were
the
against
game-winning goal
Washington. Was it the
against,
Washington
yes,
Spirit
against
that they went
Washington
against? Okay.
Spirit. Yes.
Didn't see
So
the game.
Trinity Rodman was injured for like leading into the playoffs, and she did play a little bit, but ended up hurting herself a little bit worse while she was playing. So that didn't
Mm.
happen. Really, what happened was one of their defenders or midfielders, I don't really know, the redhead on on the Spirit. She got hurt. She should not have come back in. She came hobbling back in to the point that when the ball came across her to get to Rose Lavelle to score the game winning goal, Homegirl couldn't even move her leg to be able to stop it. And I said, you should have recognized that you needed to sit down. And I
Yeah.
understand it's the championship and we want to push through. But girl, you hobbled back onto that field. And the fun lore that happened here also was, Jaden Shaw, one of the few black players in the NWSL, but one of the best, and she's fantastic. She had been traded to Gotham FC from North Carolina Courage after being in a very toxic space with North Carolina Courage. North Carolina Courage's PR and behind the scenes and stuff has been messy as of late.
Mm.
So it was fantastic for Jaden to make it, immediately start, and she was helping to score game-winning goals for the team to be able to make it into the playoffs and let alone the championship. And it was sweet redemption where she basically came on camera and told them what was what and let them know, like, y'all dropped the ball. And that's on you, not on me. And we love to see that. We love that redemption for them. And right after they won the championship, a bunch of people on the team had to fly off to the U.S. Women's National Team camp because U.S. Women's National Team has been playing for the last couple of days. Like, they played a week ago. They played a couple games a week ago. But they're in their U.S. Women's National Team camp, and their coach, Emma Hayes, I love her. I love her
Hmm.
so much.
So
She
very
made
excited.
sure to, similar to what we were talking about in the beginning of the show, where we're like people being happy and saying congratulations, making sure of that. Emma Hayes made sure that the team was available to celebrate their teammates as they arrived after the championship game. And I think that's wonderful. So congratulations to Gotham FC. I had my Gotham FC jersey on with my Ali Krieger on, my wifey. and on that jersey, and we did the thing. So it was beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them.
Do you think
Uh,
that Trinity Rodman leaves the NWSL for Europe?
Look, here's the other thing. Because the NWSL is now trying to pull what the WNBA is doing, and they are trying to cock block a record payment for her.
I
They've already
see.
blocked. They've blocked this like $1 million, multi-million dollar payment for Trinity Rodman to receive to continue to play. And then NWSL was like, nope. And I said, y'all are going to force her hand because she is
Yeah.
like the key face for the NWSL. I think she could stay
Yeah.
here and continue to grow her brand and build it out and then maybe later go over to Europe. She does not have to go to Europe right now. She doesn't. I don't think she does. A lot of people have to go to build up their skill and do different things. Trinity is already up there. She's one of those girls. She can stay here and continue to build up. She's also at the Washington Spirit, which is one of the best managed teams in the
Hmm.
league, and has CEO and president Michelle Kang, who is truly investing in the sport, and she has all this access to all this
Just
stuff. She does
invest in
not,
something else, like a
yeah,
lot of
she
new women's in
for
something,
research for health and stuff
which is so great.
and like internships and something else, a bunch of positive things
Yeah.
that she is like. If
Think
I ever
about
became a
that.
billionaire, I would want to be a Michelle Kang billionaire where I'm putting my money
Oh.
into women's sports and helping in that area.
Hmm.
So
What does
Trinity is
Michelle
kind of
Kang do?
set right now. She sold a bunch of companies and I think she was in
Okay.
like
I was like,
healthcare and
God, she
stuff.
make her millions.
Yeah,
Love this game.
she has sold multiple businesses. I think they're in the healthcare area. I could be wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Trinity needs to go. But if the NWSL pulls what the WNBA is doing,
Yeah,
then she's gonna
investment.
go. She gonna head out because the Europe can write the checks that Trinity deserves to have.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like it's like we would love her to stay, but I was like, get paid.
Hmm.
Like get paid. And then is the fandom over there, would you say, like, well, I guess compare the fandom for women's soccer versus women's football over there. Like, is it bigger fandom or would she be a bigger star here? I know it's America, but if we're talking soccer slash football, like that's it's a little different. You can't
Yeah,
just put America at the top. Like,
yeah.
so like would
In
it be
terms
better? She
of
could make more money, but would it make
yes,
her, yeah, like a huge
so
global star?
the way that I've been watching European women's sports, it's not they're not necessarily big on the individual branding. You know, here
Okay.
we had that whole generation of Megan Rapinoe, Ali Krieger,
Hmm. Mia
Alex
Hamm.
Morgan, Tobin Heath,
Starting with
Mia,
Mia Hamm
but
too.
like
All them.
Abby Wambach, like we had people
Abby.
that we drove the brand around. And in
Hmm.
Europe, they have some people, but they're not pushing them as hard as the US does. I
Got
think
it.
the US is slowly shifting into that model where it's more so a team-based thing. And
Like
that's what I think
rooting
Europe
for the
does really well.
club, like a
Yeah.
Chelsea. I do think
And
it
I
helps
think
them a
that's
lot
what
that they
Europe
have the
does.
women's version of the like they have the Chelsea
Hmm.
football. You know what I mean? I thought that was kind of cool to do that.
Yeah.
Like we don't really do that here in our
And
sports.
that's what
So.
I think the biggest difference is like for the US, it's a lot of following the individual and not a lot of loyalty to the
Mm-hmm.
team. Where in Europe, it's a lot of loyalty to the team, and then
Mm-hmm.
some individuals stick out.
Yeah,
That's my
got
point of
it.
view on it.
That makes
Other folks can
sense.
have different views, but that's how I see it. And so
Hmm.
while she would go and play some against some of the best at all times, you're also playing some of the best here and also being the face of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like for her, especially again, because the club management is so good with the Spirit, stay with the Spirit. They're
Mm.
getting so much good investment.
Yeah.
But
And
at the same
she,
time,
to be
NWSL,
fair, would get, well, yeah, obviously she could get endorsement deals over there, but like here, the upside is huge. Like where she might not make the same in salary, like
hmm
they're not going to give her the same money they would give out there. Um, she'd make that up. She
she
could make
would.
that up. She would, I would
She could
think.
Angel Reese this.
She really could Angel Reese this. She
She could do that.
absolutely can Angel Reese this. And being the for real, like, I mean, you mentioned the greats before, but like, it was hard. The pro women's league like came and went during that time in the 90s and all that. We thought it was going to be around, but like she could be the person to be like the real kind of Michael Jordan of like really taking it and making it a staple in sports,
Hmm.
for the NWSL. But I don't know, money. You know, they got some money over there, so She might do a couple years and come back. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't think the NWSL is like doing a good job to convince her to stay by blocking this stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, all right.
It's like y'all are
Don't
opening the
do
door
this. Be
for her to head
nice.
out.
Be nice. Be nice.
Okay.
But
And the NWSL is taking notes on all of the stuff that's happening with the CBA right now. So
hmm watching very
they're
closely.
they're not going to be playing around in the future with this. And I need them to see that. So speaking of the WNBA, CBA, the most recent update, and made sure to check this as of today. So by the time this episode comes out in a few days, who knows? They could pitch another thing and they could say no to it and go from there.
I know they've been doing
But
their extensions.
they're like, we're gonna give you one more
Right.
chance
Yep.
to hear the things that we've actually to process the things that we have been saying because y'all are not hearing it. You're listening, you're not hearing it, and you're not
Yeah.
comprehending it. So both the WNBA and the WNBPA, which is the Players Association, have agreed to a 6-week extension to hammer out their differences as of the end of November. So the WNBA has until January 9th to reach a new deal for the 2026 season and beyond to avoid the possibility of a lockout or a strike. The league's latest offer is a maximum guaranteed base salary of $1 million, with projected revenue share raising max players' total earnings to $1.2 million. However, the WNBPA plans to reject that latest offer because of the math that the league put together. Because here's the thing, they put together a bunch of little stuff that does not help any of the players and sets them up for failure in the future. So
hmm
while it would raise the salary cap up to $5 million a season per team, with increasing the cap over the length of the CBA that would be tied to revenue growth, the minimum player salary would rise to more than $225,000 and the average salary to $500,000. As previously mentioned, the max player salary would be worth more than $1.2 million. Under the current CBA, the salary cap is $1.5 million a season per team. Additionally, the minimum player salary is around $66,000 with the maximum salary just north of like $249,000. With the latest salary proposal, players would receive less than 15% of league revenue, which is the number one thing that the players are asking for is a revenue share plan. Like they're like, fuck everything else. Not really fuck everything else, but the number one thing that they're not moving forward with is a CBA that doesn't have a revenue share plan in it. And mind you, the CBA currently for their revenue share is 9.3%. So they're like, we're going to move it up 5-ish
Yeah.
percent for y'all. How's that? Does that sound good? Are you good with that? Because we're going to put these millions up here to distract you from that. In other recent rounds of negotiations, the league reportedly introduced a draft combine. In
Mm.
essence, to be draft eligible, invited players would be required to participate in the combine. The base rookie contract of any players invited who opt not to participate would be reduced by 50%.
That's nuts.
Current rookie scale contracts have also been discussed. The Players Association expressed a desire to reduce the length of rookie deals from 4 years to 3, allowing players to reach free agency sooner and earlier so that they can make some decisions for their life at a younger age rather than having to stay
Yeah.
till you're like 26, 27 to be on the same team. The WNBA has reportedly proposed increasing the length of the season, which has already caused a bunch of issues as they've mentioned this because
hmm
it would include an earlier start date with camps, which would happen as early as March. And if the date is moved then, y'all know what happens in March. It's March Madness.
hmm
How you going to have the people that you're trying to recruit be able to come in and join when they're finishing out their college season? Not only would it interfere with the women's college basketball season, the draft would be interrupted, Unrivaled would be interrupted, and the new Project B League would be interrupted in that. So, those are some things to pay attention to. Some other components of the CBA that they're also pushing back against. One of the most recent proposals that the league rescinded the offer for team housing or housing stipends, which means for a league that notoriously likes to trade players, think if you're going to the Valkyries or think if you're moving to New York and you have to get a lease on a place and then you get dropped and now you have to break that lease. Think if you're a player just out of college, you ain't got no money. Maybe you weren't one of the ones that got an NIL deal.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to do all of this and there's no help with moving. Parental leave. The WNBA's most recent proposal would give non-birthing parents 1 week
God damn.
of paid parental leave. For the facility standards, the Players Association has proposed team facility requirements, including private practice spaces, locker rooms, and training rooms, which is a positive. Retirement benefits, the discussion has included players receive a one-time retirement payment with a required number of years of service. The Players Union is also seeking medical benefits for uninsured retired players. And core designation, the WNBPA proposed eliminating the core designation. This is basically similar to like the franchise tag in the NFL. It ties a player to the team instead of allowing them to become a free agent. So all of that is coming. Lots to be discussed. Lots of things that the WNBA tried to throw bigger money at, but then removed a bunch of the perks
Yeah,
that
a lot
they
of
were looking for.
upfront stuff that was like vanity, like, oh, we're increasing this to that. And it's like, no,
Hmm.
what does the revenue share look like?
Yeah.
Is this going to grow over time? Don't have me at this fixed point and then the league continues to explode and we're still stuck here. And like you said, like
Hmm.
we'd have to come back in a couple years and do this all over again. Like,
Yep.
yeah, these players are very intelligent. We've told you
Yes.
before, you have some that own their own leagues, so they know
Hmm.
exactly how this
Plus, they
should
have a
go.
whole NECA did a post today that broke down every single person that is helping them make this decision,
Hmm.
which is like a team of lawyers and coaches and
Hmm.
people. Like
Good
they're not
dream
playing
team.
around.
They're not and
They're
shouldn't.
not playing around.
Yeah.
And y'all
And
keep
the
trying to
biggest
play in
thing
our
is that
face.
they will strike. They will
Hmm.
shut this shit down until you get it right because they deserve it. Like, what are we doing? So, shout out to them. Keep fighting for what you all want, with that. Like, it shouldn't be that hard to sacrifice it, but in the other sports leagues when they have these CBA negotiations, it's so hard to get the like players that don't make as much money to sacrifice like possibly the whole season or a
Hmm.
bunch of paychecks because obviously the guys at the top are fine, but because the WNBA pays so little in a lot of cases, but also like the players are more aligned and more, I would say, politically active than the NBA. I mean, they just are. Like they're ready. They will stand on principle. Like it's just like, no, we'll sacrifice. We want to get this. We deserve this, which is more
Hmm.
important. So they'll do it. So shout out to them. I kept laughing at the different extensions. They were doing 30-day extensions, and then it was like 40 days. Like it's just like trying to keep extending this, and it's just like y'all give them what they deserve. Like give them the things. I know negotiations. This is how it goes, but I really hope they get everything they want, or at least the key things that they want. So shout out to them.
Yes. Yes. On the same note, let's talk about the SCORE Act. If you have not heard about this, this is the latest thing that they are trying to push in Congress ever since the NIL deals have started. So the name, image, likeness, especially for college students, there has not been any legislation that makes sure that money spent with the NIL is split equitably between men's and women's programs. When President Biden was in office, he said that Title IX was to be enforced with the NIL, which made sure that funds were split, both revenue sharing and earning across men and women athletes. But of course, Trump came in, said, well, let's not do that,
Of course.
and basically said, no, it doesn't. So the bill is the SCORE Act. It stands for Student Compensation and Opportunity Through Rights and Endorsements Act, is allegedly made to protect the NIL rights of student athletes, but has no language that say men's and women's programs need to equally receive NIL money, which will codify that discrimination into law. The NCAA, of course, wants this to pass because it also includes an antitrust exemption that gives them all the power that they want. You can't make laws against them. You can't bring any antitrust case against them or any sort of collective bargaining It gives them the power to do what they want, and the NCAA can run free and basically be their own sports governing body without any say or accountability. The resources also don't have to be split equitably and don't have to share the receipts for how the money is shared, but they're branding the SCORE Act as a way to say that they're 100% advocating for women's sports. They want this is going to drive equity for them. But there's like a small little contingency in there that they added that basically was like, oh, this won't impact Title IX by any means, which means also that they don't have to add Title IX into anything that they're doing.
Hmm.
On a positive note, Lori Tran, who is a member of the House of Energy and Commerce Committee, was also a former D1 volleyball player. And she has written and introduced the College Athletics Reform Act to stabilize college sports, protect athletes' rights, and create a sustainable system for all schools and sports. So we're very happy for this to happen. I wanted to break all of this down, in which yesterday, as of the time of recording, there was positive that the SCORE Act was pulled from a planned House vote on December 3rd, which is yesterday. We're recording on the 4th today, because it lacked sufficient support. So while folks like the NCAA and the Big Ten Conference argued that it would standardize name, image, and likeness rules and protect athletes, opponents stated it would favor the NCAA and larger conferences at the expense of athletes and smaller athletic programs. And the bill's failure is seen by some as a rejection of a plan that they believe was imbalanced and did not adequately address other issues in college athletics. So for the time being, the people are safe. Hopefully, Lori's bill goes through and all will be well moving forward. But I don't think this will be the last time that the NCAA tries to put some sort of legislation in that will give them a bunch of freedom that they don't need to have.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. A lot going on in sports.
Mm-hmm.
A lot going on. All right. We're going to move on to our advice segment. Am I a bad queer? Got something on your mind? Don't keep it to yourself. Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com. All right. This first one is from Anonymous, who we'll just name Kyle because it's top of mind.
Okay.
Kyle says, am I a bad queer? My friend is in her early 30s and only just came out to her parents. Her and her parents are extremely close, but this caused a huge divide in their relationship. Now she is lashing out at me and other friends and truly acting like a child. We are quickly realizing how much she depended on her family's approval, but it feels like it has gone too far to the point that I am considering keeping my distance. Am I a bad queer for not being there in my friend's time of need? Anonymous, Kyle. Yeah, your friend. I don't know how long this has been going on, but clearly she's taken it very hard to deal with her parents not seeing things eye to eye, being, uh, not as accepting. And I would just say give her some time. I think it's okay to keep your space, like especially if she's lashing out, she's saying crazy things or just doing crazy stuff and all that. You know the origin of why this is happening is at least it's not like out of the blue. Um, you could tell her that you understand that she's going through a difficult time and that you are there to talk, but like anything with like disrespect or lashing out is like you set your boundary with that and you don't have to be around it. So um I do think this too shall pass thing. She does need to probably talk to someone about all this. It's hard. And some people, yeah, they do. Maybe she's also realizing that she does care more about her parents' approval than she thought. And there's some angst and anger with that. She might be mad at herself for caring so much, where that's natural. I mean, it's your parents. But yeah, she's figuring it out. We know this is a highly emotional thing and time for her. So you don't have to be around there for any of the lashing out or and stuff. But yeah, just let them know you're gonna take a step back, and that you're there to for them when they're ready to talk, when they're ready for help and everything. So yeah, I don't think you're like abandoning them totally, but if they're lashing out, you don't have to accept that just because you're their friend. Um, so yeah, I mean, You can still give them grace from afar, just take yourself out of it.
Yeah, I think Kris made some solid points. It is one of those things where it's hard when you're trying to be there to help and they're attacking you for being there when really they should
Yeah.
be attacking their parents. But you know how that circle of life goes. And if it's at the point that you are feeling uncomfortable, sometimes that space is what's needed for that person to just get grounded because then they can see how their behaviors are impacting you. And if they still want you in their life, then they will eventually adjust. Sometimes people process and it just is not in their best moments. And sometimes space is good. But it seems like this person does need the support and does need you. And so if you're comfortable with it, I think identifying the ways that you feel comfortable to engage with your friend are going to help both of you in the long run. While that may mean you're not in physical space with your friend, maybe you're just sending her text messages or you're doing it via FaceTime. It's more one on one than group situations. Figure out what kind of balance is for you because your mental health also matters in friendships. So figure that out. And don't be afraid to hold your friend accountable too, because just because they're hurt doesn't mean that they can be an asshole.
Yeah. Or go be one alone, just not around me or to me. Like, get that shit
Yeah.
off, girl. You
Yeah.
got it, but I don't got to be around that. So,
Exactly. It's like, I hate that this happened. It seems like you need some time to process. We could check back in later.
yep.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Our next person who wrote in signed it a bisexual woman dating another bisexual woman. We're just going to call it AB for short. We're going to go
Hmm.
with AB. Am I a bad queer for, similar to Kris in episode 281, being frustrated when lesbians take to platforms to express concern about lesbians quote unquote disappearing? Especially when a celebrity we thought was a lesbian starts dating a man. It made me think of the classic story of people who are gay or lesbian choosing to come out as bisexual first to soften the blow to their friends and families, only to come out fully later. That story strengthened the myth that bisexuality doesn't exist or is just a stepping stone identity. It's a myth that has caused so much suffering for bi, pan, and fluid people, unsurprisingly being told you don't exist over and over again by society or otherwise is painful as fuck. It's been beautiful to see society become more accepting of fluidity in sexuality and gender in recent years. We are all fluid in some way as we evolve as people, whether it's the gender of people you date or any other quality about yourself, including lesbians. I hope all of you gorgeous lesbians remember that when someone you thought was a lesbian doesn't identify as one anymore, someone else out there came out as a lesbian. It's all to be celebrated as real and valid and whole, rather than taking away from each other. Getting off my soapbox now. What a beautiful letter. It's like a beautiful
Here,
love letter
here.
to the bisexuality community.
Yeah,
Bisexual community. Bisexuals got a bad rap
they really do.
because people saw it as a temporary identity.
Yeah. The stepping stone thing is real too. Like, and people being dismissive of that, where it's just like, I think
Hmm.
we gotta let go of that hurt, y'all. Like, it's
We really do.
bisexual people out there. It's nothing to get you. It's I
Very
swear
real.
it's not you.
Very
It's
real.
not you. Like, don't internalize it so hard. Like, it's not a war against lesbians.
Yeah.
So,
And especially
and
even
we
the definition of lesbian has expanded.
yeah,
So it's like,
it has. It has. It's like, are we going to be expansive or not? Are we going to be tolerant or not? Are we going to let people, even with the Porsha thing, with the journey, like, it's like, does it look the best that after a messy divorce with a man you run to a woman? No, but that's also we're like putting that on them. Like that maybe
hmm,
she's finally moving on and is living in her truth. And same with these
yes.
internet. And again, I just as I said before in that episode, like I just don't like people being like the lesbians are disappearing because that's disrespectful to us as lesbians. Like we're out here,
Right.
there's a lot of us, and just because a celebrity does it doesn't mean like we're disappearing. It just isn't a
Yeah.
thing. And it's a thinly veiled or not so thinly veiled jab at bisexual folks. Like it's
Hmm.
just it's okay. There's still community, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
know.
no, you're not a bad queer
You're really
for
not.
being
Yeah.
frustrated with that because yeah, it's become the headline of the moment. It's like with all of this fluidity, lesbianism is disappearing. And it's like, no, it's not.
It's
It's
really not.
okay. It's
New lesbian
okay.
every day, as you said. Every day. A new lesbian is born, a new lesbian
Right?
comes out.
We gotta
Like
figure
we're
out the stats for
here.
this. We're like
Yeah,
every
every
hour.
day, every
At least
hour,
two lesbians are born in the world.
at least. So, I mean, we're not disappearing. Like it's fine. It's really okay. It's really fine. So, but I will say from that episode, I do understand that following someone that you do have an emotional connection with, or any kind of connection with, like that could, yeah, you have an emotional response to a change. I just, I see it a lot when that happens, where it's just like it
Hmm.
turns into really nasty things being said about bisexual folks and identities, or just, where it's just like, all right, well, they're still queer, it's
Yeah.
just, yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then, we have reality TV stars who start dating studs. And then, it's like a balance. It's a give and take
Yeah.
for us. That's
Yeah.
just,
And there's plenty of lesbian influencers to follow. There
yes,
are other lesbians to follow, big and small. Like I think the ones that aren't the biggest accounts are always obviously the ones to follow and be entertained by and all that. But it's just, there's lesbians, there's bisexual folks, there's pan folks. It's expansive. It's expansive. These things
yeah,
happen. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay when this happens. I swear. We're gonna make it. So love
gonna
that.
make it.
We're gonna make it.
AB, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, this last one is from AZ. Am I a bad queer? My friend is clearly in a relationship with someone that she should not be in a relationship with. It's clearly.
Clearly.
Clearly. There is a group of us who are all friends, and all of us agree.
Not
We've
the
tried
meeting.
to, we've tried to, all everybody.
Okay.
It's unanimous.
We did the
We
vote. We
took a
said
vote,
yes.
right? We took a vote. We took minutes, like all that. They're like, no,
No.
nays. The
Resounding no.
nays have it. The nays have it. Oh man, they are voting behind your back. Some friends are voting behind your back at brunch. We've tried to tag team different ways to get her to recognize that this is not the person she wants to spend forever with. We've had a friend go direct and say it. We've had one friend be kind of supportive. We've had a friend try to get someone else to hit on her. That's so funny. We are at our wits' end. I love the meetings y'all are having,
Okay.
and the multi-prong attack that y'all are doing is
It's
that's
great.
that's
This is
great. Y'all
commitment.
love this friend. Y'all love this friend
Okay.
so much. Y'all are like, we can't lose her to the game.
Yeah.
Um, because she is such an incredible human, we don't want to stop. But what
That
else
is.
can we do to get her to end the relationship with this woman who is clearly not good for her? Help. Ah, Hazy.
I'm like, what did we say to that?
I don't know. Like y'all are so strategic and y'all have been executing, I'm sure, at a very high level. Y'all had somebody
Hmm.
hit on her. Like y'all have tried
Right.
it
I need to
all.
know what that conversation
Wow.
looked like
I
when they
know.
went to
And
get the
these
person to
these
go hit on
weekly
them.
syncs that they have to be like,
Right.
okay, so hitting on her with it didn't work.
Didn't
So they
work.
go to the drawing board. So I feel like y'all are again, y'all love her so much. I love that y'all love y'all's friend. It has come across in this paragraph how much y'all really do care about her, but unfortunately, there is nothing you can do. You just can't. Like your friend has to find out the hard way or have a realization later. Y'all could certainly continue to stand your ground with it and keep telling them, like, I don't have any details of why this person is awful. Hopefully it's no abusive, controlling situation and that they don't feel comfortable leaving or safe to leave. Hopefully it's not that. If their significant other is just a dickhead, like freeloader type stuff, it's unfortunate to watch your friend or anybody you love be with someone that they absolutely shouldn't be with. But
Hmm.
that is also a lesson for that person to learn and to come to that realization sooner rather than later. Obviously, never do the I told you so things. Y'all don't even sound like I told you so friends. It seems like when she's ready, y'all are literally gonna like airlift her out of whatever
Yep.
situation. Like y'all have it, y'all have a
Like
go
y'all
bag,
are
y'all
gonna
are gonna
go to
get
the
her the
house
fuck out. Yeah,
and the
clean everything
the bags
up,
will already be up.
delete.
You'll be in and out in an hour. It won't even
Like
look like anybody was there.
at all. Like they would be like, listen, oh, I don't want to break the lease. We got it, girl. We
Be
took
like,
care
we'll
of it.
break the
Like
lease.
we got it.
This is
We'll
like
break
that
the lease.
scene
We
in
got the
Sex
money,
in the City when what's her face had to move out
Oh,
with
I didn't. No,
Carrie.
no, Sex and the
Oh
City.
yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, there was one where
okay.
Carrie had to do that, and it was when Big didn't marry her, and then they were like, "We're gonna handle
Oh,
this. We're gonna get your
do
apartment
have
back.
the
We're gonna
switch.
move everything," and they did that. Yeah,
Oh, well, see, there
that's
you
what
go.
these friends
So
are.
I don't think there's any other advice I could give you except that. Keep being a good friend to your friend. I don't think you have to change your position or anything. You don't have to accept this. I hope that your friend doesn't pull away because y'all clearly don't like their significant other. Um, but yeah, you are a friend to her, and you have to be a friend to her even when she makes bad decisions or decisions you know are bad. Like y'all are gonna laugh about this later, and she's gonna be like, "Why didn't y'all?" And y'all be like, "Multi-prong,
You're gonna be like,
multi-prong
actually, here were the
attack."
meeting
Okay,
notes.
right? Exactly. We have the minutes and everything. Like we love you so hard. So just stay around. You don't want her to feel isolated or that y'all are pulling away. And don't let this person like knock y'all from y'all's friendship too of
Hmm.
like, that or you thinking that she's choosing this person. This is just who they choose to love. And again, I know y'all see things that she's not seeing. And it happens that way all the time. Just hang in there. I'm sure y'all will come up with something else in your meetings and all that, but just stay supportive and make sure she isn't isolating herself. If it does get to a point that y'all don't want to talk about this person, that's okay to say that to that friend. Be like, I mean, I just want to hang with you. You don't have to talk about this person, or maybe they need it. But
Hmm.
sometimes being a friend is being a friend of somebody who's doing things that you don't agree with or you don't really fuck with, and that's okay because this person might just be a season, or whatever. Worst case scenario, these people getting married, you have a part of the wedding that you could object to, if they
Hmm.
do make it to the wedding, because they might do a justice
Honestly,
of the
I know
peace.
because I mean they said
So, you
somebody
know,
who she wants to spend forever with, and I'm like, I hope they're not already engaged
Hmm.
because that makes the battle
Yeah,
harder. They're
yeah, it's
just in
gonna
a
make it
relationship,
very, very hard.
then
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
that's there's
yes. But
still hope.
unfortunately, what do you do? What can you do? Like, what can you
Hmm.
really do? So.
I mean, you're right on being the friend. If you tell your friend that you don't like it, then it could push the friend away from you,
Mhm.
which is terrible. So you kind of go around the other lens because it seems like y'all could be good listeners, or you could ask certain questions. You could do the thing where you ask the question about the relationship and things, and since it's a group of you, if you hear something bad, you just be like, because the collective from a group, I'm assuming this is a group of black women as well, because the way that y'all are working sounds like it. When you have that
Listen.
reaction, you don't say words, you just facial expressions and sounds.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, they did what? Mm, how'd you feel about that? That says
Yeah.
all of the things that you needed to say. And then maybe she will collectively hear those and be like, huh, my friends didn't react positively to that. I should probably think through it. But you're not telling her no. You're not telling her that you disagree. You're not anything else. You're just showing that sometimes the collective, what? Say more, can do wonders. But also continue to check on your friend, continue to love on your friend because the best love stories are friendships and being able to continue to show her what she deserves. And, maybe you make the little joke of like, oh, I did this, your boo didn't do that. What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just little things to add in there,
Yeah, you
but
could the
consistently,
humor,
the humor can
mask it in
help.
humor, mask it.
The sound effects can help. And then, just do an honest check in where you're not giving any sort of feedback. You're just like, how are you for real, though?
Yeah.
And let her know that you're there.
Yeah. Wow. Wonderful friends though. My goodness. Y'all love her
Wonderful
so
friends.
much. Wonderful friends. Yeah.
Truly.
Y'all
I
are
hope she
great.
knows. I
Yeah.
hope she
Y'all
know.
are
You know
really
what?
great friends.
Whenever this breakup happens, because I'm going to put that out there. Whenever this breakup happens,
Yeah,
have
it's
her
gonna
play this
happen.
episode.
Yeah.
Listen to this episode.
Loved you so much. I mean, just seeing
So much.
the meeting notes alone are gonna be
Yeah. They're
something. So
organized, well thought out.
hmm
The fact that they sent different people to go do different things,
like
action
honestly, like
oriented.
they have a committee. They're meeting and it's for your well-being too. So
Yeah.
and y'all have y'all have the nays have it. So you listen, it sounds like y'all are getting active with it. Just continue to be a good friend and we'll see we'll see what happens. I don't know. I
It
don't
might have
know.
to be the long game, y'all.
It might have to
It
be the
might
long
have to be the
game.
long game. Just be
Sometimes you're
prepared
just
for that.
locked in. So your friend's gonna be on the you don't see them like I see them. And y'all are like, you don't see them
Don't see them.
like this. So, it's a tough situation when it comes to that. That
Yeah.
happens so often, and it just is what it is. I remember my brother was dating this horrible girl. He was hung up on her. He never married her. He did it. He did propose, but it was like a 7 year odyssey, and she was horrible for
Not
him.
an
She's so
odyssey.
selfish, just and you just watch it, and it doesn't matter how many conversations I get, it would seem like he would get it, but it was a 7 year odyssey, and it's
Mm,
been now probably about 3 or 4 years since that. He has since married someone else and has, it's in the rear view, and we could laugh and joke about it, but it was a tough 7 years, I tell you.
mm,
And sometimes you just got to leave it alone. I don't want to talk about, I didn't want to talk about her. He seemed to not want to. Again, very happy they didn't get married. Thank God. Thank God they didn't. But you really can't do anything because he's just not so much under a spell, but maybe. But he's not gonna go. Like it's just that, he wasn't gonna go until he was
yeah.
ready. So but he did move on. It was 7 years though, so I don't know. Long game, long game.
Mhm.
When I tell you we were so happy when it was like really done for good, and you could tell when somebody's really done for good. It was like,
Yeah.
brand new day, so happy. So hang in there, y'all. Hang in there. So all right, that's it this week for Am I a Bad Queer? You can always send your questions to us at badqueers.com. You can hit us up on IG at badqueerspod or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com.
All right, what type of backwards will we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? My bad queer opinion is a community note, and it is similar to what we were just talking about in Am I a Bad Queer? But a great reminder. I did this because recently one of my friends, I mean, my friends have been doing this for the last couple of years, but as of recent and also as of like yesterday, one of my best friends did this. And it's just a happy reminder, community note, happy reminder that our friends are the ones showing us the folks that we deserve to be dating because they are giving the behaviors that we deserve to have. Your friends are the best people that you're going to date, and they're going to show you what you deserve.
Oh,
And if you do anything less than that, you shouldn't be with that person. My friend, I wrote in my journal yesterday, I gave the first sentence, and I said, man, I hope my next partner looks at me the way my best friend does.
oh,
Because my friend truly looks at me in such a loving way, and I can sit and be unfiltered and say stuff and things that I would overthink with other people. I don't with her. And I'm just like, ah, that's exactly it. We couldn't date, but I know.
we
But
couldn't
I
date.
know we couldn't date. But I know that the way that she treats me is the way that I want to be treated in a relationship. And she
Oh,
is the reminder of that. And other friends are reminders of that because they show up in different ways. And your friends are the blueprint. Like you should be checking out like via friendships to see if that becomes your partner. Because the way that we put way more energy into partners first when we have
hmm
these years of friendship and things, and if those people that you start dating don't match up, what are we doing? What are we doing? So our friends are showing us the path to the dating and romantic life that we deserve. So just
that's a
follow
really
them.
good note to like look to your friends where that could be like the blueprint of it. And it's funny, I want to date my best friend, but my God, treated like a queen, huh? Just everything but that just got it locked in. So
Yep.
that's great. Yeah, no, that's a great
Yeah.
call.
No, she's the best. But she's in a relationship. It's all the things. But I'm just like, this is my human,
Yeah.
and I love it. And she's in a partnership. That's fantastic as well. And it's just great.
Off air, I'm gonna ask you which friend. I don't want you to put it on here, but I will be
I'm
asking
hollering.
you
Yeah, I'm sure you
right
will.
up as
Honestly, I don't even have
soon.
to tell you because you could sit and scan
I
the room and be
probably
like, it's this
can.
person.
Yep, it's this person,
It's
isn't
this
it?
person. Why
And
would
that
I
was
even
one
want to
of the
take that
joys of
joy
this
from
year.
you?
My God, one of the joys of this year, going to Chicago, seeing you, and be like,
Was
hmm,
it that one? Like, it's the way that you zoomed in on group
yeah,
photos of people and you were like, it's
I
that
knew
person.
it.
And I
I
said,
knew it.
how?
Yeah,
How? Somebody
yeah.
needs to hire you for investigation. You could
That's
be
the
one of
funny
those
thing is
dating
like I'm
shows
not good
to
at
do that.
I don't I'm not at the level of investigator of like my wife could see something and it's just like what the fuck you saw the routing number that like they could just look at a picture and see something I don't see, but
Hmm.
um interpersonal stuff or just like interaction with people, I think I'm pretty good with like, oh, this has to be, and then when I'm like, is this, and you're like, how'd you know, and I was like, you can just tell it's about the same way the Porsche thing, I can't
Portia
explain
thing.
it,
You
it's
just
just
got it.
you just
It's the
know,
vibes.
so yeah, I will be asking. And shout out to your friends. You have very good
Yeah.
friends. Very, very good friends. Shout out to Chicago and your friends. So,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have a community note and it's more of a shout out. This is to a more of an we don't know Pablo Torre, but I consider him an ally. He is an investigative reporter, journalist, and also TV personality. He was on ESPN for the longest time, but his craft is rooted in journalism, and he has had such a hell of a year with his podcast. Torre finds out, but in particular, while we were gone, he did an episode on Riley Gaines that I just want y'all to check out. It's called All American Grift. We investigated Trump's favorite sports troll. And this was done in partnership with Mother Jones and Madison Pauly, a journalist for the Center of Investigative Reporting, who spent 6 months going through the trans athlete debate and found out some very revealing things about Riley Gaines that are so not surprising, and how she has just been bought and sold by MAGA to do all of the anti-trans sports debate stuff. Even going back to when she initially came in fifth place to Leah Thomas, never said anything actually really anti-trans. It wasn't until she got started getting paid. But there's also a unfortunate twist to the story that they found out that I'm not going to reveal here, but just very hypocritical of the protect women crowd, especially with Riley Gaines. But even the first sentence of this podcast is she notoriously parlayed a tie for fifth into a star turn on Fox News, which she did. Like,
And
no one
did.
has taken a fifth place thing further than Riley Gaines. But all this stuff, you follow the money and you'll see. So shout out to Pablo Torre. Y'all check out this particular episode of his podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out. The episode again is called All American Grift. We investigated Trump's favorite sports troll. So very good episode. Y'all check that out. With the not so surprising stuff about Riley Gaines and her path. So, I was
Mm-mm-mm.
like, thank God there is still somebody finding the fuck out out here and actually doing the real investigative journalism work. They got rid of all the great sports shows of like real sports and ones that intersected like real news and politics with sports. But this one was great because, again, we knew this girl was grifting, but it's just very interesting to see again the path of where
Mm-hmm.
she going and all the stuff that she just sells and hawks now is just like crazy. So anyway, shout out to them. Y'all check that episode out.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week is to Queeriosity, which is a Boston based queer traveling dating show. It's a live show where they pick a leading lady ahead of time, put her out on social media, and then you get to come into this dating show and compete for her heart.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen it Boston, Texas. I think they've hit a few other cities, but travel around and do it. It's hosted by Dill
That is
Yoncé
cute.
on Instagram. And you can follow and join in the fun if you're in the area at Queeriosity_dating on IG.
That is so cute. I gotta
It
follow
really looks like a
them.
time.
That is
Like
so
Dill, who hosts it,
cute.
she is out here a whole host. She is
Curiosity
energy,
dating.
everything. And I'm like, this is something I would watch on TV, like the
Yeah.
way that she has put the clips out and stuff. But then she also hosts different stuff out. I saw her do the performative mask uh thing in the park and a few other things, but she is dope. And the stuff that she's doing and building is dope. If it comes to Chicago, I'm definitely going. So
That is so cute. Yeah. I was like, I
look
gotta
at that.
she going to DC. I need to tell my cousin if she goes to DC, but
Oh, that would be
need to be a leading
actually
lady.
brilliant.
Yes,
That would
anybody.
be brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd fly into that.
Just to see it. Oh my
I
God, that
would
would be
fly. I'd be in the
so
back like Shazam.
fun. Right. Yeah, only to watch her just self-destruct.
Right. You're like, you're doing great, sweetie.
Self-sabotage, not self-destruct. Self-sabotage.
It could
Love
be a
that.
yes and. You never
Yeah,
know.
that's true. That's true. Okay, following now. My shout out is to Style is for Freedom, which is a tomboy lifestyle brand from designer Toni Branson, which sells snapbacks, beanies, sweatshirts, tees, wallets, slides, and more. You can follow them on IG at Style is Freedom.
All right. Well, everybody, that's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
Can we talk about things? And I'm sorry that I'm